Hey, what's up, NBA fan? What's up, all sports fans? What's up, NBA fan? What's up, all sports fans? What's up, NBA fans? What's up, all sports fans? This is JB right here, host of the Behind the Bench podcast channel and network. And man, I just wanted to drop in, man, and talk about one of my most favorite moments that I will always cherish as a fan of the NBA. This right here is the creme de la creme of slam dunk contest. And over the years, particularly these last 6, 7 years, the slam dunk contest has lost a lot of its luster. Um, we no longer have superstars participating in the contest, and it used to be a field of 8 contestants. Now they can barely get 4 people to participate in this thing, and sometimes things run its course, and it may be a good idea to set aside the dunk contest for some years, and and bring it back and revive it. You know, the NBA did that once, believe it or not. The original slam dunk contest that was popularized by Dr. J took place in 1977, and they pretty much withheld it from All-Star uh, festivities until they brought it back in 1984 when Larry Nance won the contest that year, defeating Dr. J. But I know people will talk about, as far as current NBA fans and new fans, will talk about that great duel between Aaron Gordon and I believe that was Zach LaVine, who went at it back in 2016. But going into that contest, I don't think it was like heavily anticipated, you know. But this contest here in 1988 is the most anticipated slam dunk contest of all time. You had the two best slam dunkers in basketball at that time going at it, and you had tremendous slam dunkers back then who participated. Clyde Drexler, Jerome Kersey, Spud Webb returned back after winning the slam dunk contest in 1986, defeating Dominique Wilkins. And Spud Webb, man, he unleashed the whole fury that day, man, in Dallas. That's where they held that dunk contest at, or that All-Star weekend in Dallas at the Reunion Arena. You had Cadillac Anderson, Otis Smith, Ron Harper was set to join, but I believe he may have got injured and could not participate in the 88 contest. But leading up to it, fans got to understand, Dominique and Jordan were the two highest scorers in basketball from like 86 up until like 88, 89. Those were I'm going to say from 85 up until about 88. The two highest scorers in the game was Jordan and Neek. And they had these epic battles going against each other, during the regular season, because the Chicago Bulls and the Atlanta Hawks played in the same division. They played in the Central Division. So you're fighting for basketball supremacy. Arguably, that was the best division in the NBA. You had the Detroit Pistons, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Chicago Bulls, the Atlanta Hawks, the upstart Indiana Pacers, and the Milwaukee Bucks. So every team in that division was a squad. They was either on the brink of vying for a championship or they was becoming prime contenders in their own right. But the two best players, the two best scorers, the two best dunkers was Dominique Wilkins and Michael Jordan. So months and weeks leading up to that contest, That's all cats was talking about. Who gonna win that contest? Neek Jordan, Jordan Neek. Clyde Drexler, he was more of a great in-game dunker, but as far as a contest dunker, he was never able to win the contest. But nonetheless, Clyde the Glide, you can't have a contest without Clyde the Glide. Jerome Kersey was a tremendous dunker, great power dunker for the Portland Trailblazers. So you had two of the best dunkers in the game on one team. Clyde Drexler and Jerome Kersey both played for the Portland Trailblazers. But man, people was so forward to looking at this contest coming up because we knew who was going to wind up facing each other in the finals, like the final round. It was going to be Neek and Jordan, Jordan and Neek. Jordan with the acrobatics and the hang time. Jordan with the Dominique with the windmill, just the power dunking, man, jumping off 2 feet, rising over cats. So you just couldn't wait because you knew it was going to come down to those two players. So, like I said, it was so anticipated. Cats was getting cable for the first time just to watch that contest. And myself, I was a teenager during that time. So that's all I could think about. This was must-see TV. That's what I'm trying to say, must-see TV. So leading into it, man, I mean, they had the event in Chicago where the All-Star game and All-Star weekend was being held. And this was the most popular contest of the All-Star weekend. That's why they always had the slam dunk contest as the last event over the 3-point shot. Or back then they had what they called the Legends game where the former players, retired players would participate in that game. But that dunk contest is the most anticipated slam dunk contest in NBA history. It was like a lot was riding on the line. But what's beautiful about it is Dominique Wilkins alluded to all the time. They put on the show for the fans. They did it for the fans. It wasn't about they was worried about their brand or losing per se. It was about going out there and performing, putting on the show for the fans, man. And for the slam dunk contest to be at its highest level, the superstars had to participate. From Dr. J to, like I said, Jordan Neek, Clyde, Kobe, Larry Johnson, Sean Kemp. All these great slam dunk champions. Jason Richardson. Blake Griffin. I'm just throwing out names over the years, man. People who participate in this thing. Kenny Scott Walker, who won the contest in '89. But what's ironic is Dominique had won the slam dunk contest in 1985. Jordan had won the slam dunk contest in 1987. So it was about bragging rights, man. And I'm telling you, dog. Me personally, in the most anticipated slam dunk contest of all time, to me, Dominique won that contest. I mean, Jordan unleashed some crazy dunks in his own right. And he ended it and put a stamp on it with that free throw dunk. Or that dunk from the free throw line. But as Dominique said, he was creating new dunks on the fly. And that's what it looked like out there. Double pump reverse windmill dunks from the baseline. And he had that one dunk where he threw it towards the backboard from the free throw line, and he jumped up inside the dotted circle, and he leaned forward, grabbed the ball out the air. He bounced it off the glass. He grabbed it out the air with one hand, leaned towards the basket, and dunked it, man. Popped and swung on the rim. He was doing crazy dunks, man. And I believe Dominique won the greatest slam dunk contest of all time. Now, I know, people may say the dunk contest between Zach LaVine and Eric Gordon may have been the best one, and I get it, man. I get it. It's been some great contests as far as battles. D Brown versus Sean Kemp in 1991. That was a great dunk contest. Then, of course, as far as individual brilliance, Vince Carter, who revived the dunk contest in 2000 after it was, put on hold uh, after Kobe Bryant uh, won the contest in 1997. I don't believe they had another dunk contest until 2000. So it brought the anticipation back by setting aside the dunk contest for a couple of years, in a perfect time. And Vince Carter came in, Vince Sanity, prime Vince Carter, and he won that contest by a landslide, you know. But you had some other great winners over the years, D Brown, like I said, Jay Rich, Nate Robinson, Dwight Howard with the Superman dunk, which I always thought was hilarious, by the way. That's a hilarious dunk. I mean, the way he staged it perfectly, he pulled out the Superman jersey with the cape. You know what I'm saying? He flew in the air like Superman and dunked it. It was funny, but it was authentic at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But there's been some great slam dunk champions over the years, man. But that contest right there, it solidified uh, slam dunking as an art form, man. You had the greatest slam dunkers in the league, participating in that thing. And like I said, you had 8 contestants then versus 4 now. It's just hard to field 8 contestants. So what the league may want to do is just set the dunk contest aside. You still get hyped up when someone go off in the game and unleash a crazy dunk. You know what I'm saying? Where you don't see it coming and someone rise up over somebody and dunk, 2-hand jam, 1-hand jam, power dunk, baseline, whatever you want to call it. It's always going to be an exciting play in the game. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the contest itself, they may need to set it aside and then revive it, bring it back. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, I believe it's run its course for the time being. But on that day, that Saturday in 1988, I believe we witnessed the greatest slam dunk contest, the most anticipated man-on-man battle in slam dunk history. Because you got to understand where it's like a boxing match. You leading up to a great boxing match months before, weeks before, and the build up to it, you're getting, the days of, you count the days off, man, till that moment comes. You know what I'm saying? 2 great fighters going at it. Ali Frazier, whatever you want to call it, Ali Frazier. You know what I'm saying? But this right here, this was it right here, man. This was it, and you can feel the energy in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like Neek unleashed the fury, Jordan come back and unleash his brand of fury, and one guy try to top the next guy, man. And like Dominique said, man, they did it for the fans. But what was special about that dunk contest that Michael Jordan once highlighted, the dunks they did in the dunk contest tended to be dunks that they did in actual game competition. It wasn't all these stunts, you know what I'm saying? Cats, using drones to lower the basketball down so they could dunk it or stuff like that. It was in-game dunks, man. And that free throw line dunk that Jordan did, what was special about it, he didn't get no running start. It wasn't like Clyde tried his version of the free throw line dunk, but he would have to get a running start to do it. You know what I'm saying? Or Dr. J. Michael Jordan dribbled the ball full court as if he's playing in the game, and then he jumped from the free throw line and dunked that ball, man. And he got a perfect 50 on that dunk. Now, Dominique's last dunk, I believe they gave him a score of 45. You know what I'm saying? So I believe it was some home cooking there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, man? But at the end of the day, you couldn't hate on it per se because you had the two best slam dunkers in basketball going tit for tat. You know what I'm saying? And to top it off, Jordan won MVP of the All-Star game itself. He scored 40 points. You know what I'm saying? I remember that game. He scored 40 points. I believe Dominique had like 29. And those were clearly the 2 best scores in the game. Then you had other great scorers back then. Clyde Drexler, Larry Bird, Bernard King, people of that ilk. You know what I'm saying? But those were Karl Malone. Can't forget Karl Malone. Chris Mullin actually was a great scorer back then too, starting his career off. But yeah, at the end of the day, man, this was for me. Uh, this is deeply etched in NBA lore, and it's the stuff of legends, man. And it was like a dream come true because they faced each other in 1985. Dominique beat Jordan in the 85 dunk contest. Now, Jordan couldn't participate in the 86 dunk contest because he was recovering from that broken foot. And then the 87 dunk contest, Neek got hurt right before All-Star break weekend. So we had to wait an additional like 3 years before we saw Jordan and Neek square off again in the dunk contest. And that's why I was so anticipated. That's one of the reasons why I was so anticipated. So we finally get to see, who's who. So Neek beat Jordan one time in the contest, and then they gave Jordan the nod in the 88 dunk contest. But me personally, I believe Neek won that contest. And I think Jordan will kind of tell you that if behind, in a one-on-one scenario, I think he would tell you that Neek won that contest. Basically, he said, Jordan said, if we had this in Atlanta, it may be a different outcome. So that there you pretty much have it right there. But they had some famous battles, man, going one-on-one in games, man, where, Jordan would pop off 50, Neek would drop 45, or, Neek would drop 60, Jordan dropped 50 something, man. It was just, that's what it was about. Superstars going against superstars in all, different scenarios, whether it's in-game action or dunk contest. But that right there, man, I'll never forget that. I will never forget that as a basketball fan. You get chills just thinking about it today. And that was back in 1988. So we're talking about some 35 years ago where that went down, man. And the league needs to take a look at that. And superstars need to understand, man, you're doing it for the fans. It helps elevate the game. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same without the stars. And I'm not saying everybody has to be a star to participate. But what I am saying is to bring it to the highest level of competition, you know what I'm saying, where fans are really going to be vested in it. The superstars need to participate because you have great dunkers in the game today. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a willingness to go out there and just, perform for the fan. Because that's what the All-Star, game is supposed to be about, the All-Star weekend. When now it's All-Star, they get a full week off. It used to be, prior to the All-Star break, you have a game on Thursday, and then you complete the All-Star weekend, then the second half of the season resumes that Tuesday. Now they get a full week off. But this right here, I mean, it was special. It was special, man. And on that day, we got to see the very best of what the NBA has to offer, man. And they just continue to build on that momentum. And it created a decade of basketball for the ages in the 80s that carried over to the 90s. So I just wanted to drop that gold nugget, man. And it didn't get no better than Neek and Jordan. It didn't get no better than Jordan and Neek, man. Chicago versus Atlanta. The Hawks versus the Bulls. And what's ironic is I believe they only faced each other one time in the playoffs. And that was in 1993 in the first round. And that's when they still had the best 3 out of 5 series in the first round. And I believe the Bulls beat Atlanta 3-0. They beat them 3 straight. And that's when the Bulls went on to win a third straight championship in 1993. But I just want to drop that real quick. This is JB for Behind the Bench. the Slam Dunk Special. And I'll holler later.